This is the 2019 Honda Pioneer 1005, and it is yet another way for a family of four to head around the trail and have fun all in one machine. Now, Honda takes a different approach than other manufacturers. Some builders just say, let's make the wheelbase really long and give everyone space. Well, not Honda. Honda engineers went to work on this Pioneer to make sure that you have cargo capacity when you need it, passenger capacity when you want it, and a short wheelbase for getting in and out of some tight situations. So in this video, I'm gonna climb in that back seat and see if they're any good. I'm gonna run this thing up my Hydroline trail. We're gonna find the mud and the ice to see if this intelligent four-wheel drive system is any good. And then finally, we'll even test the Hill Assist system to see if that actually works, even in the snow. Let's get out there and get rolling. Honda is a 999cc engine that puts out 72 horsepower, and probably the most interesting thing about this unit that makes it different is the 6-speed dual clutch transmission, which you can shift right here with paddle shifters. Now, the dual clutch has actually been interesting today because it's so cold out. It's about -5 where I'm at here. When I first took off in the Pioneer, the shifts were really slow, and they take this big kind of lurch and this big second to kind of bang off a shift. And then as heat gets into it, the shifts got faster and faster and faster until, you know, now that it's fully warmed up, it basically just fires off shifts really quickly, really smoothly. Now, running around just in high, the transmission works really well. It seems to always know which gear to be in. It bangs off shifts nice and quickly. And then put it over into sport mode, and it will actually kind of really hold the gears and let you rev it up and then sort of fire off that next shift, and really keeps you in the power band. But then probably the best thing of all is manual, and these paddle shifters. In manual mode, you get to select the gear. So if you want it to stick in first, it will just stick in first no matter what you do. Now, these paddles are actually quite nice. They're really big. I didn't find they get in the way at all while you're just driving. And the fact that they're so big is nice because when you have the wheel turned, sometimes you got to kind of come up and grab them from the bottom or from the top. So it's nice to have a nice, big, large paddle. It's just easy to grab onto. Okay guys, so I found this snowy hill for a reason. Now there's two things we're going to test. First, going downhill, Honda says that because it has the 6-speed automatic, the first gear here is just really low, so it holds you at a really nice speed. So let's just see how the gearing holds us. Now first of all, we're in four-wheel drive and we're in high, and I'm just going to take my foot off the brake and let's see how the transmission does. Not bad, you know, not bad at all. It got a little bit fast. It sort of let you run away a little bit, but for the most part it dealt with it. Now let's back up here. Now let's go ahead and do the exact same test, but this time we're going to put her down into low. So now we're in low, in first gear, manual, so we're locked in first gear. Now I'm going to take my foot off the brake. Oh yes, that caught it really nice that time. Nice slow creep down the hill. All right, so that creep down the hill was pretty slow. Didn't feel that much slower than most belt-driven side-by-sides when you put them into low, but it did feel nice. Now we're going to try another trick here on the Honda. That's the Hill Start Assist. So you stop on a hill. I'm in four-wheel drive. You really push the brake in. You got to really mash the pedal. You hold this button on the dash. Okay, a light comes on up here. Now, foot's off the brake. It's holding. And there, let's go. So now we'll try that one more time, except this time I'll actually accelerate. So once again, push the brake pedal hard. Hold the button. There's the light, foot off the brake. And just like that, you're off. Now, besides that hill start assist, other features that just come on this limited edition model include the intelligent four-wheel drive system, these Fox QS3 shocks, the hill start assist like I mentioned, brake force distribution, a skid plate, A-arm protection, illuminated switches, and this under dash storage. Like I said, this limited model gets those QS3 Fox shocks, and this suspension package works exceptionally well. Now you get 10.5 inches of travel in the front, 10 inches of travel in the rear, which is really good for this segment, and this Pioneer really soaks up the trail underneath it. Now you have 3 different settings on these shocks, firm, mid, and soft, and I've been running in the mid setting, and it's been totally swallowing up everything I've thrown at it today. It really keeps you comfortable in the cab. I've been hitting stuff with progressively more speed because it's actually confidence inspiring. Yeah, this is, you know, some really nice suspension. Now, compared to the Kawasaki Teryx and the Yamaha Wolverine X4, I actually think this Honda Pioneer rides the best. The Teryx is really good in a close second, and then the Wolverine, same thing, is a close third. It's really not a big difference, but if I had to pick one for overall ride comfort over a day of riding, it's got to be this Pioneer. So before I show you more on the back seats, let me tell you the reasons why this Pioneer is really unique. So this thing has an 80.2 inch wheelbase. That's the shortest in the segment. So Honda really packs a lot of machine onto a nice short wheelbase, and going down some of my tighter trails, it's really appreciated. You know, if you're in a place like I am and it's heavy forest, it's always nice to have a shorter wheelbase so you're not hooking trees or anything. And then back there on the corner, you can even see it right there in the camera. This sort of exoskeleton that comes out, that thing can also get hooked on trees. But again, because my wheelbase is so short, I haven't actually had that happen yet. Now my width here is 63 inches, which is quite standard. Bed capacity sits at 1,000 pounds, which is quite nice. Towing capacity comes in at 2,000 pounds. Ground clearance measures 12.7 inches. And turning radius, this is another thing that I've really noticed today. This Pioneer turns really well. Now the turning radius is 13.8 feet, and out here on my trails, it just feels like it can really dart in and out of the trees. I would say, again, really better than the Kawasaki and the Yamaha. Okay guys, you asked for it, we're delivering it. Time to run the hydro line. Let's go find the mud. I gotta tell you guys, I'm feeling a lot like an icebreaker today. Okay guys, the mud pit is more of a skating rink today, but we got some ice breaking to do. I got this thing in intelligent four-wheel drive. We're gonna leave her in high for now. Let's see how it does. Oh, it's breaking through. It's breaking through. The ice is really slowing us down here. I don't want to hit it too hard. It keeps trying to claw its way up. Oh yeah. Oh, these are big sheets of ice, man. I'm up on the ruts here. She's getting a little dug in thanks to the ice. Okay. We're broken through on one side, but we're not breaking through on the other side. We need a little bit of weight. Trying to help her through. Okay, we gotta climb up on the ice again here. Come on, baby, climb. Okay, a little further. It's got lots of grip, lots of traction. We're just struggling with the ice. I got her in low now. I'm gonna see if I can't move over a little bit. She's digging. Okay, she's digging. We still haven't come close to getting stuck yet. The grip is quite good. I just can't get through this ice. It's really thick. Okay, a little bit at a time. Little bits at a time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come on, icebreaker. Well, I gotta tell you today, the bumper on this LE model is really coming in handy because we're using it. Come on, icebreaker. Couple more hits and we'll be through. Yeah, baby. Well, I can tell you, just from doing what I'm doing here, the i4-wheel drive is working really well because the front end, yeah, baby, keep going, keep going. Yeah, and I'm through. All right, well, now that that ice is broken, this should be a lot easier going back the other way. Let's see how it goes. Come on, baby. Keep moving, keep moving. Oh yeah, lots of grip. And let me tell you, coming across with the ice, oh, right there even, the front end, oh, she's getting a little stuck. I'll stop right here for a sec. So the front end keeps on clawing its way up out of this ice, and I can feel the slip, and I can feel it doing its brake force thing where one tire brakes, one tire seems to grab. And obviously what keeps happening is I keep kind of clawing up and then breaking the ice down. But even on something like this i4-wheel drive does seem to be helping me. I'm building up this big pile here. I might not be able to make it over that. I need to take a little run at it. Okay, here we go. Whoa! Nicely done, Honda, nicely done. Now what goes on here is there's a rear locking differential, and then in the front, this machine uses brake traction control and the torque biasing front limited slip, essentially to send power and to stop the wheel that is spinning. So if my front left started spinning, the brakes would be able to grab it, and that would then send more power over to my right wheel, which has traction. Now, probably not quite as good as a front locker. Honda says that it is, but in my experience today, it did work really, really well. I could feel it sort of doing its thing when I was climbing up and over some of those big kind of ice mountains I was building, and it reacts really quickly. That's the one thing I noticed is the second I felt slip, it would be like slip, boom, it would grab and then throw the power to the other side. And what I was doing today in the snow, the mud, the rocks, some of those uphills, yeah, this thing had no issue at all. And that is also, of course, a testament to these Maxxis Bighorn 2.0 27-inch tires. Nothing I've had today has been able to slow them down. I've used these tires because they're quite standard on a bunch of other machines, so I knew they'd go through the mud, but I had no idea how they would do in the snow. But they've handled exceptionally well, and they don't seem to lose traction even when it is cold and white outside.
Okay guys, time for a top speed run on this Pioneer. I don't know what it's limited to, but we're gonna find out. I'm gonna push my right foot to the floor till she don't go no more. We got her in 4-wheel drive high, sport mode. Let's see what happens.
In 3, 2, 1, go!
That's all she wrote for top speed. I hit 65 miles per hour, and there was no limiter. There was no rev limiter, no speed limiter. This thing will just go as fast as it can possibly go. And for me, I got her up to 65. And you know what? Power out of this engine feels nice and strong.
Time for good, bad, and weird. And for the good, and you might laugh at me, but I'm simply gonna go with how wide these doors open. You know what? Getting in and out of side-by-sides as often as I do, especially because I'm always filming, so I'm constantly in and out, having a door that opens this wide really does make a big difference. It just makes it that much easier to get in and out and that much quicker. And when you're doing it all day long, even a couple seconds every single time makes a pretty significant difference. I love how wide open these doors go. Okay guys, for the bad, well, no surprise here. It's just how small these rear seats are, and mainly it's just how little leg room there is down there. You know what? It's really nice that Honda gives you this convertible option, so you do have a dump bed and you have rear seats, but these rear seats really aren't that big. So you do have to, you know, put up with a pretty big compromise if you go with this Pioneer. So yeah, the bad has to be leg room in these rear seats. And for the weird, I'm gonna go with this dead pedal. Now, if you guys have seen my reviews before, you know I love a nice dead pedal, but this one is so far up off the ground, there's just no way I'm gonna be able to sit here and put my foot up in here and still be comfortable. You want it to be sort of down here, but of course Honda couldn't put it here because of the wheel well, so then they stuff it up here. But I'm not gonna lift my foot up and put it up there, it's just awkward. So yeah, the dead pedal up there, that's pretty weird. Now the steering in this Pioneer, really nice. There's no settings here, so you have one weighting, but Honda seems to kind of go towards the heavy side. It has this nice heavy feeling in my hand, and you know, the power steering is enough to overcome any obstacles, but you get really good feedback through this wheel. It's really on par with the Yamaha Wolverine. It seems like Yamaha and Honda like to give you that, you know, really beefy feeling steering wheel, so you get a lot of trail feel, unlike Polaris and Kawasaki, who really like to dial the trail out with light power steering. The curb weight comes in at 1,642 pounds, and that is with all the fluids ready to ride. Let's take a look at how the back seats work. So to fold the seats into position, you don't have to hold anything. You just simply grab and fold up, and it pops right into place. Now you do have to unlatch this seat back here. There's just a little latch that goes like that, and it drops down and sits in place. And then the buckles also nicely fold up, so you had to unfold both of the buckles on either side. And then you have this nice little jump seat. Now let me show you behind the jump seat, and this time we'll actually put the tailgate down, because with the tailgate down there's a tiny bit of space that you can access. So see, it's about as long as my hand. If you needed to slide something small back here, I don't know, a car battery, a tool bag, maybe a really small gas can, you could. And actually, one of the nicest things is once the tailgate is up, that's a nice little tight spot down in there that's, you know, stuff can't jump around too much. Now, Honda does give you D-rings. There's a D-ring there and there in the back, so if you needed to tie stuff down, you could. There's also another one right there up in the center, but it's a good thing to note with the Pioneer that when it's in full passenger mode, you don't get much storage. When it's in full bed mode, you don't get any rear seat passengers. Okay, here's the moment I know you've all been waiting for. I'm gonna jam my 6'2" frame and my big wide butt into this Pioneer. Let's see how the back seat does. So first of all, a nice wide opening for the passenger and a nice little step down there as well. Now, let's see how this goes. Oh, interesting. Okay, so first issue is the lack of a footwell here. Look at how high my knees are, and most machines in the back seat, like the Kawasaki Teryx, you get a really nice low footwell, so your feet can sit down low. Here, my knees are so up tall, and this is just an uncomfortable seating position. There's a little bit of a well down here where your feet can slide forward into, but it's really not much, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that anyone, you know, 5'5" or taller, even 5 foot would probably be pretty cramped back here. This back seat should probably be reserved for children and people you really don't like, because a full-size adult can't really ride back here all day long. Now, in terms of seat comfort, the seats looked kind of chintzy, but they feel fine. You know, the cushioning is okay. But the other thing is this handle. The grab handle is really far away from me. Usually you kind of like it sort of right here in front of you. Here in this machine, it's all the way up here on this wall. Yeah, you know what? The back seat of this Honda Pioneer is definitely never going to be described as spacious. Now let's see how I am getting out. Luckily I can grab onto the bars real easy and step down on that step there, and I'm out. So getting in and out isn't the toughest thing, but you definitely don't want to put one of your good buddies back here, because at the end of the ride you won't be buddies anymore. to show you what it looks like, here's a shot of me in the back seat actually going down the trail. So let's just forget about those back seats and talk about just this bed for a second. So first of all, these side doors open up, and they open really wide, well past 90 degrees, and that just gives you a really nice opening if you needed to load something here from the side. Now, one other thing I want to point out, this LE model gets cup holders here in the door. Now, there's actually another little spot you can access right here too. So it's a little bit muddy right now for us, but if you did have to shove something in there for storage, you absolutely could. So these doors I really like on the side. Now, looking at the tailgate, there's another clever feature here. Now, these handles open up, you pop the clasp off, and then they're spring loaded, so they pop back right to that original position. And I'll show you why that's cool in a second. So first of all, tailgate comes down, nice plastic tailgate. It's got a bit of a rise to it. I can show you down from this angle. It kind of comes up like that at the end, which is a little bit strange, and some stuff is definitely going to get caught up in these deep holes here on the tailgate. And I'm sure some of you have already seen these too. There's gaps between where the seats fold down. Now, if you were hauling sand or gravel, it's going to get in there. Honda Accessories has you covered though with either a bed mat or a bed liner to cover up those gaps. Now let me show you why I like these handles so much. So you put it back up, and all you have to do is go over and back, and you're done. You don't have to worry about the other side of the clasp because it's spring loaded and it pops right on there like that. And of course, let me show you how it dumps. So you got to open the front door here, and right down here you can see there's a little metal handle. Now, there's an identical one on the passenger side, and there is a gas assist shock. So all we should have to do here is pull up on the handle, and she's not going anywhere. Now, that's probably because it's cold, A, and B, because I just got it all muddy and icy. So let's see if I can just give her a little bit of help now, if that's enough. Yeah, it just needed a little bit of a pull to get it to go up. And there you go, up she goes. Now here it is all tilted up, and this dump bed does tilt to quite a nice angle. And another thing that I like actually are you got these nice handles all the way around the bed on the front too. So if you did need to pull on them or pull this thing down or lift it up, you can use them, and you can also use them when it comes time to put the bed back down. Another thing that's really stood out to me after riding this thing for a day is the NVH. It's really quiet, really not much vibration comes through this machine. Again, for a company that builds automobiles, I would expect this from Honda, and they deliver it absolutely. This thing feels really well built, no weird noises or rattles to speak of, just really well screwed together. Now, this interior up here, first of all, you do get two cup holders, pretty standard on most machines. A nice small little info screen up here, just enough to deliver you all the information you need. And the one thing that you really need on this machine is your gear selection, and that's right up front on the screen. I definitely like that. Now, another thing that's really great are these storage bins down here, mainly because of these rubber netting on the front. The netting makes sure everything stays inside, and it just makes you really confident to just toss stuff in there and you don't have to worry about it. So what does this Pioneer cost? Well, that's an area where the Honda definitely falls behind its competitors. This 2019 Pioneer 1005 limited edition in the US sells for $22,099, while here in Canada, this model sells for $25,999. Now, the comparison is where this Pioneer gets hurt. A similarly equipped model from Kawasaki when it comes to the Teryx, that's going to cost you about $17,100, while a similarly equipped Yamaha Wolverine X4, that's only going to run about $17,200. And that story continues in Canada, where that Teryx 4 is the cheapest, coming in at $19,699, while the Wolverine X4 only comes in at $21,499. So that's about a $4,000 price difference north and south of the border for this Pioneer over its competition. This 2019 Pioneer 1005 really is a jack of all trades. It's got a solid engine, a good four-wheel drive system, and then the rear end is just clever. You can get 4 people in here if you need to, or you can have a fully operational dump bed. Now, as always, guys, make sure you hit subscribe and come back here to TFL Off-Road for the latest news, views, and real-world reviews. See ya.